Hello, sir. We have designed an application for booking a metro ticket using this application called Number Metro. We have designed this wireframe using a wireframing tool called draw.io. So, when we load the application on our phone, the first thing that we get to see is the welcome message displayed on the screen, and also it shows that the application is being loaded. Once the application is loaded, we are redirected to a page for signing in. So in the sign in page, we have a form where it asks to fill the data, which is user ID and password. And notice that the sign in button and the form changes when the data is filled. The data is filled and the sign in button gets activated. Now, before we click on sign in, let me show you two more pages that we have on the login page, that is forgot password and sign up. We have this forgot password in option in case if the user forgets his password and he gets to change his password and create a new password again. So let's try clicking on the option. And once we have clicked on the forget password option, we are redirected to a page where it asks to confirm if this is our phone number. Now let us assume that this phone number is correct and we'll confirm it. And once we have confirmed it, it asks for the OTP which it has sent on the phone, and then we fill in the OTP which we received. Now once we notice that the confirm button changed as well when the OTP is filled. And now let's click on confirm. When we click on confirm, we have received a screen where it asks for creating a new password and to confirm it. So let's fill in the data and notice that the confirm button changes again, and the form as well. The form and the confirm button has changed and the data has been filled. And once we have clicked confirm button, the password will be rechanged and will be redirected to the sign in page. Now let's click on confirm button. Once we have clicked on the button, we are redirected to the login page again. Now another option which I said about was sign up. Let's try clicking on sign up before we log in. So once we have clicked on sign up, we receive a form again where it asks to fill in the name, mail ID, phone number, password, and to confirm the password which we have entered. And also notice again that the sign up button and the form changes when the data is filled. The data has been filled and the form and the sign up button has changed, and once we have clicked on sign up, the account will be created and will be redirected to the login page. Now let's click on sign up button. We clicked on the sign up button and now here we are on the login page. Now let's fill in the data, that is user ID and password, and we can log in into the page by clicking on the button sign in. And once we have signed in, the first thing that we get to see is to book a ticket. We have two options to book a ticket, that is round trip and one way. Now let me start with round trip. uh, the round trip is we book a ticket to travel from point A to point B and to return back from point B to point A. That is, we book two tickets, one for traveling to the place where you have to go, and then we travel back to the same place where we travel where we started from. So let's fill in the data and notice that the form changes and the find button as well. So when we click on the form, the cursor appears and the keyboard pops up, and then we fill in the data. Once we have filled in the data, the form changes and the find button as well changes. The reason for this find button is to get the tickets which are suitable for our destination and our departure date and arrival date. Now let's click on find button. Once we have clicked on find button, we'll get the tickets which we booked for, the option for the tickets which we booked for. The first ticket says that we are traveling at 12 o'clock on so and so date, To check the date, we have to click the arrow button on the ticket, and we get to see this departure date and arrival date as we had entered in the form. And and we also have this timetable, select seat, and page. We have three page inside find. Once we have searched for the ticket and we are booking a ticket, now assume that we are booking this ticket of rupees 300, will be completed with the timetable section, which will be indicating with a check mark, and then we have redirected to a select seat. That is, we are selecting the seat which we want to sit in the coach number in the coach. So as I have described here, this yellow box shows that we have selected the seat, and the sketched box shows that the seat is not available. That is, it has already been booked by someone else, and this plain square shows that the seat can be booked by us. Now let us try clicking on some of the seat buttons, and then notice that the square changes to the yellow mark, yellow square. The seat have been selected and the square changes. And now once if we click the same square, it gets unselected. And also notice that the return ticket or button as well changes. Now the option for return ticket is that we have already booked a ticket to travel from point A to point B, and once we click on the return ticket, we are booking a ticket from point B to point A. Now let's try clicking on the button return ticket. Once we have clicked on return ticket, we are redirected to a similar page where booking a ticket for traveling back, and the arrow shows here that it's from point B to again point A. Now let's try checking in the seat. This seat button works the same as the previous one, and notice that the seat button changes as well. Now once we have clicked on book seat, we'll be redirected to a payment page as we have mentioned here, and the selected button gets checked. Now let's try clicking on book seat. Once we have clicked on book seat, notice that the seat is selected and the timetable has been have been checked, and now we are left with payment. Now there comes a form where it asks for card number, card holder name, and expiry date of the card, and CVV of the card, which is available on 3 digits on the back of a card, which we have mentioned here. And then let's try filling in the data. When we click on the form, the keyboard pops up and the cursor shows that the text is being added there. Once the text is added, the payment option button is enabled. Notice that the payment button option wasn't activated unless the data was filled. When we have completed the payment, we get a confirmation with a thumb symbol, and then we notice that all the pages have been checked, so the ticket is booked. Once we continue, we return back to the page where we need to book a ticket. To see if the ticket is booked, we need to click the option here which says which shows the booked tickets. These are the booked tickets. Now we just booked the ticket from MG Road to Jai Mahal as we showed earlier. So let's try checking it out. Before we check it out, we also have this button here, plus button, which again redirects us to the page where we book tickets. It's to add more tickets in this page. Now that is to book more tickets for traveling. Now let's try clicking on the button, the ticket. Once we click on the ticket, we get the QR code and the travel duration and the ticket number on the page, and also we get an option to download it. And this QR code can be scanned by the conductors in the station. Now let's book a ticket for one way. It's the same thing again, but we are just booking for traveling from travel point A to point B and not returning back. Notice that we only have a departure date. Here we had departure date and arrival date. That is to mention that arrival date is the date when we return to point A again from point B. Now let's fill in the data for one way. Again, when we click on the data, the cursor appears and the keyboard pops up, and we fill in the data. And once we click on find button, we are redirected to this page, and this arrow mark shows the date when when the ticket can be booked. And once we click on this arrow mark, it collapses, and then we can click on the ticket button, and then we are redirected to a page where we can select a seat. Notice that the timetable has been checked. That is, we have selected a ticket, and then we are booking a seat now. Here we only get one seat selection option because we are it's a one-way trip. We can check in this seat and book a ticket, book a seat. Once the seat is selected, we are directed to a payment page, a form which asks for your data, that is card number, card holder name, expiry date, CVV. And once we fill in the data, the payment option gets activated. We pay it, and the payment has been confirmed, and we continue. And we are once we click on continue, we are redirected to a page where we get a form to fill in the data again, and to get that ticket, to find a ticket. Now let's try clicking on this option, which is travel history. Once we get to travel history, we get to see a table where it shows the date when we travel to from a place to a place, that is from point A to point B, or the location as mentioned here. Now let's try clicking on this profile page, where we get to see our profile photo and a cover page, and the passenger name, mail ID of a passenger, phone number, the age of a passenger, and address of the passenger. And we also have an option for contact the metro station, and also for translating the languages from Kannada from English to Kannada and Hindi. And we also have a three option menu here which asks to log out and sign up. We have already seen the sign up page. Once we click on sign up page, we are redirected to a place where we can create an account. And once we click on the logout button, we are redirected to the sign up page. And that's it. That's application for booking a metro ticket.